Hey, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how the Shatterproof Archery bowstrings are made. So if you're interested in how to make a high quality Flemish Twist bowstring, or if you just want to know how we do it, this is the video for you. Do you have your computer? I left my computer at home and I need you to give me a bowstring to make for a customer.
I got you. This is Jeff.
Okay.
Green and black, B55.
Okay.
48 inch with a 52 inch AMO. So 48 inch bowstring.
52 inch recurve. Okay, sweet. My goal today is to make the process of building a bowstring extremely easy to understand. I've taught many people how to make a bowstring before, and there's three things that are normally the trip up to making a bowstring. The first is to get the proper bowstring length. The second is the fade out and splices and exactly how to do those properly. And lastly, we've got the back twist. If you can nail those three things, you're gonna have an awesome bowstring. Bowstring jig or no bowstring jig does not matter. I'm gonna show you how to do it both ways. Plus, a bowstring stretcher or no bowstring stretcher is completely fine. I'm gonna show you how to do that as well. And up front, I don't wanna hide anything here. Yes, I definitely have Shatterproof Archery as my company, where Flemish Twist bowstrings are our most popular product. We also sell D97 bowstring material and B55 bowstring material, serving material, bowstring wax, and everything you need to make bowstrings, as well as the bowstrings themselves. In the past week, here are a couple things that some customers have been saying about our bowstrings. This one's a YouTube comment. Yeah, I've only had positive experience with the strings I have ordered from you. I love that I can custom color them to my liking. I plan to order some spools in the future. I told the guy at the local archery shop about you, and he said that I should order as many Flemish Twists as I could because they are the best strings and many are priced for a lot more. So to all reading this, we can get a great product at the right price. Kramer, thank you again for your positive attitude. I'm telling you, this sort of stuff just lights me up. Kaz also just told me he got a pretty sweet email, so he's gonna read that real quick.
What is up, everybody? Kazden here, and I just got this note from Chris that I am going to read to you guys. Kazden, just got the strings. They are perfect. The Oneida loves the Flemish Twist. I used to shoot with a true ball fang, and now it's going back to finger setup. The strings I was using felt stiff and sharp. I hated even to test pull them with my fingers during tuning or to place in a vise. Your string has the proper thickness. It doesn't cut through or pinch the tab at all. It's so quiet with the beaver strips on it. My other strings require an entire wool sweater tied to the top and bottom of them to shut them up. Excellent work. The recurve strings are spot on too. They feel like totally different bows. The brace heights are back to normal ranges. They're so much fun to shoot again. I had no idea that the D97 would make so much difference. Arrows leave the shelf in a hurry. I truly thank you. The deer will not, but I do. You've given me 5 more yards in range at least. Oh, and the Armguard is great. Perfect size and just the right amount of pliability. It's handsome and is definitely a well thought out product. You've got a lifetime customer here. Thanks so much, Chris. Chris, thank you so much.
As I'm here, another comment. This one's from the Unique Outdoorsman. I have 2 of your strings, looking to purchase more fantastic quality and performance. And I just gotta say, this is why I do what I do. This is why we make strings and made this more than a YouTube channel into a company. And it means the world to me that you're here watching this right now. I know this is a slow start to the video, but I just really want to take this time and thank every single customer who's purchased, to thank every single subscriber and every single viewer for watching. It really has given me a lot of purpose to be able to serve you. So just thank you so much. Know you're making a difference in my life. All of these little comments, I see it every single email. I don't read them individually, but Kaz reads them and he voice messages me because of my dyslexia. Words aren't as good or as easy for me to go through, so I get a lot of things through audio. And so all of that little stuff really does encourage me. It really means a lot, and I just can't thank you enough. So just thank you. Today I'm going to give you all the secrets of how we make these bowstrings. In the end, it's not too difficult to understand, but it does take repetition to get good at it. Let's jump into it. Today we're building a bowstring for Jeff. He ordered a 48 inch B55 black and green bowstring. You may see a lot of people use a bowstring jig. The reason for that is literally just for speed of making a bowstring. I did make a video 3 years ago or so on how to make a bowstring jig, but all the purpose is for it is to get the strands staggered. That's all it's for, to get the strands staggered. So if you don't have a jig, take your bowstring length, add 20 inches to it, and then cut all 14 strands out of that at the same length, and then just stagger those strands 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and you'll be good to go. The reason we stagger that is so that on the splice, when you're Flemish twisting the bowstring into place, it gradually fades out and doesn't drop off immediately. It makes for a better looking and a better performing bowstring. For today, I'm gonna use my jig, and since we have a 48-inch string, I just put the dowel in the 48-inch spot and start winding out the bowstrings. Now with B55 and D97, we make 14 strand bowstrings, so that's gonna be 2 bundles of 7. Now again, if you do not have a bowstring jig, you can make one if you plan on making 5 to 10 bowstrings or more. If you don't plan on making that many bowstrings or that often, don't worry about the jig. Add 20 inches onto the length of bowstring you want, and you'll be good to go. All right, this one is wound all the way up. Then we're just gonna cut it up the center. And this is what I'm talking about right here. How all those ends are staggered. That's the goal, to get all the ends staggered. And so when you make your bundle of 7, just pull each one down to stagger the ends, and that's all you need to do. That's what the jig is for. At this point, we'll grab the perfect bowstring wax, and you wanna really lather it on there. Now, most bowstring material, especially from BCY, is pre-waxed, but from their machine, some of it's more pre-waxed than others. You'll feel it real waxy sometimes. Sometimes it's not that waxy. So we wax it in and make it into one good bundle of 7 strands of bowstring, and that's gonna make the bowstring making process, the Flemish twisting, all of that much easier. So get this highly waxed. The other benefit to waxing it real good is longevity of string. Now this is water resistant, waterproof basically, and it's gonna be able to last longer if you've got good wax on it. Okay, now we're doing the second color, which is green. Wind this up real quick. Cut your strands loose. And we will wax the second bundle real quick. Okay, we've got both bundles. We got the black and we've got the green, and all the ends are staggered. So this is our materials. This is what we're gonna make the bowstring out of. Next, you'll want to grab your 2 bundles and make the ends even so they end at the same point. And you'll wanna measure this out 10 inches. You'll pinch it off here, and this is where the Flemish twist happens. Flemish twist basically is twisting away from yourself and then rotating over the top. So you twist the 7 little strands, which is 1 bundle, and then twist back. So you're gonna do this to get it started. Now you've got a good Flemish twist. There, I'm gonna clamp it off. At this point, you can continue the Flemish twist down. So with both hands, I'm gonna twist the bundles to the right, and then put your right hand over the top to the left. And the goal here is a nice, tight Flemish twist, and you can take your time on this. And what I would actually recommend is to go ahead and twist one of these up and go ahead and untwist it. Like, you want to practice this twist to make it good, and then you can twist it up again. Of course, the more you do it, the faster you get. We're going to bring this out to my 4-inch mark, and this will be the bottom loop. So here, I like to match up black on black, green on green. It makes for a sharp bowstring, although it's just color preference, because if you switched it, it wouldn't matter. Match these up like so. So there's gonna be your bottom loop. Something that's easy to forget is to make these straight. Since we spent the time twisting it up, these ends that we're gonna splice in are all twisted up now. You want to straighten out these bundles, and once they're all straightened out, you can mate them with the color. The goal is to make these 2 bundles of 7 turn into 1 bundle, just like that. So wax these together, twist them up. Now you've got really, really good bundles here. You can put the loop back over your hold and start the Flemish twist again. And look how beautiful and tight that Flemish twist is. This just takes some good practice, but also it's what makes a really, really solid bowstring. So you'll continue to twist this Flemish twist down until you've got past all the tag ends. What do I mean by tag ends? Well, all those tapered ends we put in there, they're gonna flow out of the string like that. That's completely fine, and we wanna get past all of them and continue on 2 inches, and that's where we will stop. As you do this, you can just keep the bottom ends from getting tangled just by unraveling them. Right here, I've got past the tag ends, so I'm gonna continue on for 2 inches, and then we'll clamp it off. There we go, a really good Flemish twist. String and clamp it off. All right, so now it's time for the back twist. Now, if you picture how we're twisting that in, the rest of this is all cattywampus. It's all twisted up, and we have to untwist that in order to get a good straight bowstring. But if you think about it, you can't only untwist what you just twisted. You need to untwist for the next loop as well. And this is called back twist. So the goal is when you're finished with the string, the twist is exactly straight. This is the best way to make a bad bowstring that looks cool, is by messing up the back twist. So I have 2 examples here, one with bad back twist and one with good back twist. So you can see this is bad back twist. What I mean by that is these 2 bundles still have a bunch of twist in it, and so they separate really easy. They're not combined, so to speak. But if you have good back twist, it turned into one big bundle of 14 strands of string. And so these can't separate. It looks like one solid string. This one looks like it's 2 separate bundles. You don't want that. And the reason is because there's still twist in those strands, causing them to not mate together. So I've heard it said, do 15 twists with your fingers, and that's gonna be proper back twist. Well, it all depends on the length of your bowstring. It all depends on how tightly you twist it and many other factors. So how can you get this right every single time? Let me save your bowstring from having bad back twist right now. And how we're gonna do that is we're gonna untwist the bundles until it's vertical, but we're counting those twists. And then we're gonna do that in the other direction. Because the second loop is gonna be the same as the first loop, and so your back twist is gonna be perfect every single time if you do it this way. But the back twist will change depending on how long your string is or how tight your twist was. So we've got it clamped off. I pull these strands out, and now I'm gonna start my back twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now my bundle is vertical, it's straight. There's no twist in these strands. So since I did 8, I need to do 8 more for the next loop in the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The green strand or the green bundle is done. Now moving on to the black one. And it should be the exact same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. That's a properly back twisted bowstring. The hardest thing to maybe comprehend. I hope that makes sense. But now when we do the next bundle, it's gonna untwist the second 8 twist we did and make your string vertical, allowing those 2 bundles to mate together, making a seamless, perfect Flemish twist bowstring. Okay, it's time to do the second loop, and we need to know where to start it. As a general rule, just do 1 inch less than your finished bowstring length. So the loop we've already finished, I'll set that over a screw, and then I'll stretch out the entire bowstring, and I'll pinch it off at 47 inches for my 48-inch string, and that's where I'll start the Flemish Twist. This second loop will be the top loop. Therefore, we're gonna make it just a little bit bigger. That way it can slide up and down the limb when people string the bow. 3.5 inches on the first loop. We're gonna go 4.5 inches on the second loop, and that'll give you 2 different but properly sized bowstring loops. And you repeat the second loop the exact same way. So remember to get the twist out of that and then mate those together perfectly. Twist out of this side, and boom, they're married. They're one now. You don't want a bowstring that's not acting as one. You want a bowstring that acts really flawlessly together. We'll do this Flemish twist down until we hit the tag ends. And then we go 2 inches further. There it is, right there. We've got our Flemish twist bowstring. You'll want to double check that your strands are straight. If you got the back twist off, redo it. Just takes a couple minutes, but you'll have a much solider bowstring. Let's check our loops to see if we did them properly. One should be a little bit bigger than the other, which these two look perfect. Now, it's time to twist up your entire string. So, you twist to the left, and that's gonna twist the middle section of your string together. Boom. So now you've got a tight bowstring. One of the coolest things about Flemish Twist bowstrings is it's all twisted, see? And you can pull it as hard as you want. This is not going to break unless you exceed 400 pounds. At this point, the bowstring is made, but it's not complete yet. We still need to stretch it, we need to trim tag in, and we need to serve the string. First is putting it on the stretching jig, or if you don't have one, you can just use your bow. But keep in mind, once you put the string on the bow, the string will stretch 1 inch to 2 inches, and so you're gonna have to twist that up later. I'd also recommend leaving it on that bow for quite a while. Here in the shop, we stretch up to about 110 pounds of pressure and leave that for around 20 minutes. From my testing, after leaving it for 20 minutes, it doesn't really benefit it. But for 20 minutes is a pretty good time frame, so generally what we do is we get the string stretching and move on over to the next bowstring we need to make. And by the time we get to the stretching jig with the next bowstring, we can continue on with that first bowstring that we were working on. The stretching jig we're using today is a homemade stretching jig. I tried a bunch of different things, but the thing that came out to work the best was using a boat winch. You know, the kind that if your boat's not all the way up on your trailer, you can hook it through that loop and winch that boat right up and in. And then on the other end, I just needed something I could use in order to adjust the length and secure it tightly. With that, there is a quick note here to keep in mind. Anything you put that bowstring loop over, you want it to be smooth. So I've got dowel rods, and a couple places the dowel rods fell out, so I used some screws, but it's a smooth shaft screw. So there's threads on the bottom, and then there's a smooth shaft all the way up to the top. That way the bowstring's only on the smooth shaft. Same thing, you want it on a smooth bar, or just to make sure every surface that you're putting any pressure on with the bowstring is smooth. That way there's no chance of you fraying the bowstring at all. I always put the bottom loop on this end to keep it consistent, and then I stretch it out to around that 100-pound mark, and this is really, really tight, much tighter than your bow's gonna be in most cases. I have had a few people want a bowstring for maybe a 120-pound bow, which is ridiculous. Some people can pull back these crazy poundage bows. But what I'll do is I'll add more threads, or maybe move up to a 16-strand bowstring. Then you can drop the size of your serving thread so it can still fit a normal knock if you need to. So you can make these tougher, but these strings are very, very tough. Okay, our bowstring has been chilling for about 20 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and trim the tag ends. I made a more in-depth video on the tag ends on the Shatterproof Archery YouTube channel if you're interested, but basically those little tag ends that came out, we just wanna trim those with a razor blade, and we don't wanna burn them because this is very fibrous material. And so how I say we're doing a 14-strand bowstring, each one of those strands, you can pull all those little fibers apart. So if you burn it, the little fibers burn pretty quickly. I've tried it, it doesn't work very well. You don't want to diminish the quality or hinder the capability of your bowstring by burning it. So just trim them. A sharp razor blade's best. As you know, I like the Lennox razor blades. Those are my favorite. Once the tag ends are trimmed, I like to grab some more perfect bowstring wax and put another top coat of wax on there to seal everything together and to also help hold those tag ends in. Now, if one of those comes loose in the future, it's not a problem at all. Just trim it off later and you're good to go. By rubbing your hand along the string, that friction creates heat and allows that wax to melt in, making the string have a nice finish to it. Next, I'll release the bowstring of the pressure and test our length and see how close we are to our finished bowstring length. If you're slightly off, you can again twist that string up or untwist it a little bit. You don't want to untwist it all the way. And if you're still off at that point, you want to redo the string. In the end, if you have 1 to 1.5 twist in your main section of your bowstring for every inch is a pretty good rule. Because at that point, that gives you about a 1/2 inch play to untwist it or to twist it up. So every time the black and green overlaps, if that's around that inch, or maybe 1.5 times per inch, you're pretty good to go. From here, you can put it back on your bow, or what you can do, put it back on your stretcher and serve the bowstring. Now, if you put the string on your own bow, you can grab a T-square like this and mark on your string where your arrow rest is, and then from there I'll go up 3 inches and down 7. In my case, I don't know their exact bow, but since I do make bows, I know how most of them are laid out. And for a general rule, we do a 10-inch serving section. That way there's more serving below than above your knocking point, so that it can protect the string if your string ever hits your clothes or arm guard. If you'd like an in-depth serving video, you can check that out on the Shatterproof Archery YouTube channel as well. Okay, so next I'll grab one of these little top loop stickers and I'll put the top loop sticker on the top loop for the customer. Here again, we double check the string length to make sure we just nail it perfectly every single time, and we're good right there. So here, how I like to wind it up is I'll grab right above the serving material, wind it down, you can wind it in just like that. Jeff needs his 48-inch bowstring. Your bowstring and your other products are on its way. Welcome to the after show. Don't watch this if you don't want to risk being confused. Although, since I did tell you the 100% truth about how we make these bowstrings, it's not the same for every length, and everything is maybe on a scale or a gradient. Things change depending on the length of the bowstring, so let's talk about that now. And if you're leaving right now the video, that's totally fine. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for joining me. Stay shatterproof. And you'll want to measure this out 10 inches. Now this part is where it can start to get complicated, but it doesn't have to. Making bowstrings is on a gradient. And so if you have a shorter bowstring, you want your tag ends less. And if you have a longer bowstring, you want them more. And that's due to the stretch, basically. So without getting into that too much, if you stick around the 10-inch mark, you're going to be pretty good. Now, if you do have a 72-inch bowstring, it might be closer to 12. And if you have a 35-inch bowstring, you're gonna be closer to 8. But in between there, 10 is gonna be about the average. And you can make a good bowstring anywhere on that spectrum. There is a gradient, we do make our strings on that. But for your bowstring, if you're anywhere in between 50 and 65 inches, 10-inch is going to be good for you. If that was confusing, forget it. Forget it, do 10 inches. Now remember how we talked about that gradient earlier on the splice? From 8 to 12 inches, 45 to 70 inches, and it's on a gradient. That's the same for figuring out how much your string will stretch. Think about it. A 40-inch bowstring is not going to stretch as much as a 70-inch bowstring. Also, B55 is going to stretch twice as far as Fast Flight. This is where it can get slightly complicated, but do not worry because we have play, because you can twist your bowstring up more or less if you need to. So I'm going to give you a general rule, and then based upon that, you should be able to get a bowstring that works great for you. With B55 and D97, 1 inch less than your finished bowstring length is where you want to pinch it off and start your loop. With Fast Flight, I'm going 1/2 inch less because it doesn't stretch quite as much, and that'll be a good rule for you. If you're making a 75-inch B55 bowstring, I'm gonna do 1.5 inches less. If I'm gonna make a 45-inch B55 bowstring, I'm actually going to change that to probably 3/4 of an inch because it's not gonna stretch as far. So just kind of picture that gradient, and based upon that, you can pinch it where you need to. If you don't want to think about it, do it at 1 inch, and you should end up, for most common bows, having a bowstring that'll work perfectly for you.